Retirement planning can feel like navigating an unfamiliar road. Lots of turns, a few roadblocks, occasional detours. But that's exactly why every Saturday here on KXNT, we consult Las Vegas's own financial advisor, Jimmy Lin, certified financial planner and founder of Right Path Wealth Management. Jimmy, it's great to be with you. Happy Saturday. I'm loving our weekend routine here.
Hey, Casey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And as we're revving up for today's conversation, want to remind our listener, if you've ever wondered whether your retirement is truly on track, Jimmy and the team are here to help. 702-744-8344 is the number for you to dial. And today we're offering an exclusive opportunity for our radio listeners. Our first 5 callers can claim a spot on Jimmy's calendar for a complimentary retirement consultation. This is a no obligation opportunity. It's just a chance for you to get direct, personalized answers to those big retirement questions that we know you have. Our lines are open now, but spots are going to fill quickly, so do not miss out. Go ahead, dial 702-744-8344 to reserve your spot. That number for you one more time. Write it down so you have it handy, 702-744-8344, or you can also learn more and reach out to us at rightpathwm.com. All right, time for some retirement talk, Jimmy. Let's get into it. If you are a listener of this show, then you have heard us talk about risk tolerance, but how do you define it? Well, here is Carrie Hannon with Yahoo Finance. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
It's really how much you can stomach when the markets drop. Are you going to freak out? Are you going to panic? So this is sort of this moment where you have to sort of take a breath and really be honest with yourself. How can you handle the drops? And we see these all the time. And can you wait it out for it to come back? So if a 10% drop is going to make you crazy, then you're not very risk tolerant. But it's important to understand that, because this is going to tell you how much you want to be in the stock market, invested in equities, or in cash and bonds, which is a little more steady, and you're not going to have these ups and downs.
So that's the definition. But Jimmy, how do you go about measuring a client's risk tolerance? Does this conversation happen during that first initial meeting?
Well, Casey, it's pretty funny because it's pretty simple to figure out someone's risk tolerance. I usually just ask them, look, when we get your money invested, if the market drops and you're going to pick up the phone and call me and tell me, Jimmy, I'm uncomfortable with this, I need to sell everything, then we know that we did not do a good job of putting them in the right portfolio for their risk tolerance. Because you really define the risk tolerance, as that clip said, is that, when the markets are up and down, how are you emotionally going to feel? So it's really about how you view money. And what's really kind of a misconception is that people with a lot of money or who have worked hard and saved in their retirement accounts, they suddenly have a large risk tolerance. But that really could be nothing further from the truth. Is everybody has their own individual tolerance to market dips. And so it doesn't really matter how much you've saved up. It's really how you view money and emotionally how that feels. And I think it's a really important aspect of financial planning that sometimes is missed, is that if you get it wrong, if you get somebody's risk tolerance incorrectly, no matter what their assets are, it could change the plan. Because if they're not emotionally prepared for a market dip and it occurs, what they're going to end up doing is they're going to panic sell, lock in losses, and then they're not going to be able to benefit when the market typically will rebound. We saw that in COVID in 2022 or 2020 when we had a huge drop. The market rebounded and then went to all-time highs. But I had a bunch of people that I spoke to that said, hey, Jimmy, we just couldn't handle it at the time. And so they set themselves back from their retirement plans by, years, if not decades, of where they wanted to be. So it's really, really important. And we do it in the first meetings to start getting to know our clients. But that conversation about risk tolerance never ends. I mean, if I have clients that I've had for 5 years, we're having those because we always want to have that piece of their plan dialed in.
Well, you know this better than anyone, Jimmy, being in this business for a long time now, that life has a way of throwing us those curveballs, whether it could be, you're starting a new job or you're growing your family, or even, you come into an unexpected inheritance or there's a change in the market. And all these different instances can shift how comfortable we feel with risk. So I wanted to ask you this. How often are you sitting down with clients to revisit their risk tolerance? I know you said you're talking about it in that initial meeting, but how often are you going back and having that conversation? Are there certain life changes or events that, happen and you're like, hey, it's time, we need to sit down, we need to talk about your plan again?
Right. Well, there's actually just in somebody's lifetime, there's just those natural points in which they have to reevaluate those stages in life. We say it all the time, although we work with people that are kind of in pre-retirement or going into retirement, or they may be just a few years into retirement. We see a lot of people that they're invested like they were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. The difference between the client base that we work with and people in those what we call accumulation years is just time. You don't have as much time when you're entering into retirement. So when you get those market dips, you don't really have the ability to wait for a rebound, because this is a stage in life when you're trying to take those vacations, spoil the grandkids, and just enjoy life. And so it becomes a mind shift. Once you get into that kind of income and distribution phase of retirement, which I think is the fun part of life, you will naturally want to shift your risk tolerance for the most part to make sure you have some type of asset preservation strategy. So I always suggest to people, and for all the listeners out there, if you're in a situation where you have a 401k or a TSP or a 403b that you really haven't reviewed the risk on that, and you're not sure if it matches your stage in life, give us a call, because that's what we do all the time is do these type of assessments to see if your portfolio matches your stage in life. If you want to get that complimentary assessment, give us a call at 702-744-8344, and we'd be happy to do that for you.
If you are looking for answers to those retirement questions, this is the perfect chance for you. You can connect with Jimmy. There's no pressure. There's no commitment. There's just genuine guidance tailored to whatever your specific situation may be. Spots will fill up, though, so time to take action right now. Claim yours before they run out. That number again, 702-744-8344. One more time for you, 702-744-8344. Or if you prefer online, you can reach out and learn more anytime at rightpathwm.com. All right, Jimmy, want to talk about Trump accounts for a moment here. These are included in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and they are new tax-advantaged investment accounts pre-funded with $1,000 of seed money for every child born from the beginning of 2025 through the end of 2028. So the government's idea is to get all kids into saving and investing earlier in life, and then when they turn 18, they can use that money for qualified purposes like college or buying a new home. Now, while this might sound good on paper, I was reading on Yahoo Finance that some financial advisors are not a fan of Trump accounts, Jimmy. So I wanted to get your take here. Do you agree, or is there a better way to contribute money to the grandchildren?
Well, as a receiver of a Trump account, I don't know if anyone would argue with the benefits of getting $1,000 pre-funded, but I kind of think that that's where the benefits end for this specific idea in the Big Beautiful Bill, because there's already kind of things like that out there that work a little bit better. If specifically, if you know that your child is going to be going to college, then a 529 plan works much better as far as the tax implications. And that's what everyone's trying to do whether you're saving for retirement or saving for your child's education. You generally are looking for tax benefits like growth on your money that's going to be tax deferred. The difference between the Big Beautiful Bill and, let's say, a 529 is that although those assets grow tax deferred, when you pull that money out, it's ordinary income, which is the highest income that you can pay. We kind of call that full retail taxes on your income. And with the 529 plan, if you know your child's going to be going to college, then those funds that grew tax deferred actually come out tax-free when it's used for education purposes. So it kind of depends on what the goals are as far as what you think those kids are going to be doing. But yeah, there's generally going to be better tax-advantaged opportunities. when you're looking at this, but I don't know anyone that doesn't like the free money. So it's a good idea, especially if your kid, may not be going to college, which nowadays with AI, we see a lot of people going more to the trades, which is a great idea. But, a lot of times the 529s will fund that as well. So I would say that, good idea. No one is against free money, but if you're looking for tax breaks and being more efficient with taxes, which of course, on our show, that's all we love to talk about is being tax efficient. I would say there could be better ways of doing it.
Well, so I think a lot of grandparents in this day and age are very eager to help out the grandkids, but sometimes it's hard to know exactly where you should start, especially with all the different account options out there, Jimmy. So I think it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed by all the choices in front of you. So for our listener, Jimmy, who wants to set something up for their grandkid, what's the very first step that you'd recommend? Should they talk maybe with the parents first, or is there a specific type of account they should be looking into right away? What's the play here?
Yeah, I think they should run it by the parents probably, but I don't see a parent wanting to push away from their the grandparents helping out the kids.
Right.
I would say that a 529 plan still for me would be the first way to go, just because even if your kids don't go to school, it used to be that a 529 plan would have some penalties in place if you didn't use those funds for college. But now the one thing that the big, beautiful bill did implement was that if you don't use funds for college, you can actually roll over up to $35,000 into a Roth IRA for that child. So that is phenomenal, because with a Roth IRA, there are different limitations in place and you need earned income. But being able to roll over unused funds from a 529 into a Roth IRA is a phenomenal option. So that's one of the really good things that came out of that bill. And for the listeners that hear us regularly, we love Roth IRAs, because once you have that money in a Roth IRA, remember that money has already been taxed. It grows tax-free. And when you withdraw that money, it's also tax-free. So you're really, as a grandparent, if you're able to fund a 529 and it gets unused for college and it gets rolled over into a Roth IRA, you are setting up your grandchild for generational wealth, because you're passing on that money in their 20s. By the time they reach their 60s, you probably have close to $1 million in there, depending on how you have it all allocated. But I would say one of the other things that I really encourage people to do, and one of the kind of big misses, I think, when grandparents do want to spoil their kids, is actually gifting. Because the IRS makes it really easy to gift money. You can actually gift up to $19,000 to any person in your life, and it's completely tax-free to that individual, and it actually leaves your estate. Gifting during your lifetime as a grandparent, I think, is the most gratifying thing that you can do. So what I see is that a lot of times grandparents want to help out their loved ones, but they also don't necessarily have the confidence to give, because they want to make sure that they can take care of themselves, for long-term care and just to never run out of money. But when you actually create some type of income plan where you're not going to run out of money, I think gifting during your lifetime is a phenomenal way also to just give money to your loved ones and see them actually enjoy what you've given them for their lifetime.
That is going to do it for us this week. We will be back next week, same time, same place, with more great insight from certified financial planner Jimmy Lin here on The Right Path to Retirement. Take care.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Right Path Wealth Management. Right Path Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Right Path Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Any reference to the protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. This radio podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decision, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Right Path Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Right Path Wealth Management.
Market Guard is a firm that provides investment signals as well as portfolio allocation recommendations, wide variety of model portfolios. Market Guard does not offer advice or enter into fiduciary relationships.